Welcome back. Welcome back, otherwise known as please sit down. Thank you. So you heard a bit about the big picture and the high-level aspirational goals we have for this program and for each of your grants. But we know that even the greatest machine can't fly without having the right innards, the right mechanics and gears that make it flow. And so we're going to spend the next part of our agenda diving a bit into the mechanical aspects of the grant. For most of you, this will be a reprise. We had a webcast that was very highly attended on February 7th, where we went through some of the nuts and bolts of administering these grants. But we know from experience that hearing this more than once is helpful both for you and for us, because some of these things we're going over are the very questions you'll be asking about a month from now, and you go, what did they say about that again? And so we thought we'd bring this up here and have a little chance for back and forth with part of our grant officer team. So I want to introduce them. And then a little later in this session, Sol and Giebergees will join me up here as well to talk a bit about the work plan and consortium agreements, which is something of high interest to the regional grantees in particular. So to my immediate left is who we like to call our Grants and Budget Division Director Emeritus, Zuleika Morales-Romero, who is actually transitioning to another department in HUD to lead an intra-agency transformation initiative. Challenge of being highly successful in your work in the agency is people notice you. And so she'll be working with our Office of
Field Policy and Management.
On making sure that the entire agency is more reflective and responsive to community need. To her immediate left is Deborah Rohn, who's joined our team relatively recently this morning, as she is on a rotation or detail for about 4 months, supporting us in grant officer duties. She is, in a lot of ways, filling in for some of the role that Malcolm Smith, who many of you have as your GO, will be playing when he returns from his rotation. And then James Norsworthy, who has not rotated anywhere. He has been right with us from the start, and he is a grant officer with many of you as well. And so at some point over the last 30 to 40 days, you guys have spoken to one or many of these people in getting to this point to have your agreements executed. So Zuleika will lead us off, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Dwayne. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I know I've probably met most of you over the phone already. So hi to those that were able to execute your awards within 2 weeks. Now you know why the rush. I was transitioning over to this new job, and I really wanted to make sure that all of that was done before me leaving. So I headed most of Region 2, so I know that I probably spoke with you at one point. And you're familiar with my name because it was always on the NOFA process and who's the point of contact. So I've received calls around the country of very simple things as like, where do I apply, to the more complicated things saying, do I have the right partnerships or the right partners to become an eligible entity? What I will be doing today, I will be going through the requirements that you have to make sure that you comply with, and for you to also have an understanding of how the office is structured, who you're going to be talking to. It's really the nuts and bolts of running your grant program. We're going to start off by going through sort of a recap of what we had already heard from during the webinar. Let's see if I can do that. Okay. And this is the overview of what we're going to be doing. Hearing people talking to me. Dwayne, stop. Okay. Under the roles and responsibilities, this afternoon you're going to hear more in depth of what these are, but I'm going to go ahead and just briefly reinstate what I said during the webinar. If you guys have questions, this is the time to have the questions. You know, it's nice to have this new grantee orientation because we're able to meet each other, and you're going to be able to meet your GTRs, meet your grant officers. It's really important for us to build this relationship from now on because we're going to be working on this, you know, about 3 years. And a lot of the things that you will have questions of maybe not addressed in these slides, but they may come up now and you can take advantage of it, of having us here and ask those questions. Okay, so the roles and responsibilities, you have already spoken to your grant officer. Grant officers are those that take care of the administrative part of the grant. They are the ones that have negotiated with you, been able to award your grant, and they're really the ones that sign the grant agreement. And if anyone hears what a 1044 is, here at HUD, that's your cooperative agreement or your grant agreement. And has everyone seen your grant agreement? Has everyone seen that? I'm not seeing anyone nodding. Okay. Even if you're from the program side of this, or if you are from the administration side of this, you should have a copy of your grant agreement and the whole thing, not just that one page that has a signature. Actually, the grant agreement's up to almost 30 pages long. Does everyone have a full copy of the grant agreement? Okay, I'm seeing some people not nod. So that means that I want to make sure that you guys reach out to your grant officers and make sure that you do have a copy of the cooperative agreement. That's what the grant officer does. Grant officer is actually the signature authority that can make modifications to your grant, can make the changes, award, negotiate. The grant officer, that's the role the grant officer will be doing. Throughout the course of the lifetime of your grant, if you're going to change key personnel, or if you require a budget change, or you're going to be providing your financial statements, this is the person that you're going to be talking to. Now, here in the office, we have James Norsworthy, and most of you from Region 9, am I right? Region 9 has James as your grant officer, and most of you that awarded with me has Malcolm Smith. Now, who has Malcolm Smith as a, okay, hi grantees, okay. Now, for the time being, Deborah Roan will be acting as your grant officer until Malcolm returns, okay? Let me go down. And then finally, we have Thaddeus Winsek, who has Tad as their grant officer, a couple folks. Okay. And grant officers are here today, so if you want to have a specific question in regards to your cooperative agreement, I suggest for you to approach them. Now, the GTR is a more lengthy responsibility. This is the person that you're going to be dealing with on a day-to-day basis. The GTR assists us grant officers to award your grant. They're the ones that have reviewed your work plan, or your proposal. They're the ones that are going to be working with you closely to develop your work plan. They're the ones that are going to be approving all your deliverables. Deliverables meaning work plan, for those regional planning grants, your consortium agreement. If you're going to be requesting services, meaning that you're going to release an RFP of certain nature, they're going to be reviewing that as well. They're going to be reviewing your consortium agreement, and they're going to be approving it. Now, for example, if you are going to be hiring staff, and I know someone just, Jeff, you started today. Congratulations.
He's not just the same.
Okay. So when you're going to be hiring staff, and in some cases you just had 2 placeholders, you said that you're going to be hiring a program manager and a director, and that's normal. A new grant program normally needs new staff. You can't just pick anyone that you want. And I'm not saying that anyone here would make a bad selection, but when you come up with that final list, who's going to be looking at that list is going to be your GTR. And your GTR is going to be working together with you to make sure that you make the right selection. The reason why we do this is because they're part of the key personnel, and we want to make sure that the person that you're hiring is qualified. Now, I've been in the grant world for quite a bit of time now, and we have seen that sometimes secretaries are hired to be program managers. Sometimes we see that the cousin of someone's been hired as a program manager, and not necessarily a person qualified to run the program. So really what the GTR is doing is ensuring that you have the right staff in order to implement a successful program. They'll be working with you, monitoring your grant performance. And I know that tomorrow, I believe, they're going to be talking in depth about your performance measures and what you need to make sure that you are doing in order to have a successful program. And this is the day-to-day person that will be talking to you. The GTR is really the point person for you. Also, later today, they're going to talk about sustainability officers, which is a presence that the Sustainable Housing Communities Office has around the field. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's your first point of contact. Your first point of contact, and I want everyone to say this with me, who's your first point of contact? Your GTR. If there's something that GTR can't address, they will go ahead and ask the grant officer. And if it's a fact that the grant officer needs to get involved, your grant officer will contact you or you can contact the grant officer. But at all times, your first point of contact is your GTR. Let me go back. Okay, now let's go to grantee expectations. Your initial expectations, this is really the start, this is at the beginning, and is what we expect from you, and are the bare minimum is what you're going to see listed here, is for you to submit your deliverables on time, to follow your work plan. Now, one little caveat, and I want everyone to be aware of this, is that in your cooperative agreement, that first page says, this will include, and it lists a bunch of things. It lists the NOFA, because that's our primary guide. It lists the policy guidance issuances that are available on our website, and they're going to go through them today. It lists the regulations, which is 24 CFR Part 85 and Part 84, 85 for the local government and 84 for the nonprofits or education. It lists also your work plan, but it just doesn't say work plan. Right next to the work plan, it says, and all their tasks are considered deliverables. What that means is that you just can't freely do anything you want on your work plan. If your work plan's been approved and you've included a schedule in your work plan and you've included a list of tasks in your work plan, which I know that all of you are going to do, that is already part of your work plan, and that is considered a deliverable. The date that it's set is set by you, and the result is also set by you. But you can't just say, okay, well, today, or I had initially planned to do an RFP for this services, and now that's been 3 months in the work, I decided to actually hire that. That is a change of your work plan, and that needs to be approved by your GTR. So, to follow your work plan is very important because this can trigger changes. Now, not every change is going to trigger a modification of your cooperative agreement. There's some changes that are going to just trigger the GTR approving them, and this is a good example. One change of your work plan may trigger that you change the way that you're doing work, and it's going to need the GTR to approve that. It says here also to provide progress reports. Now, we're very lucky in the agency. In HUD, normally they're quarterly progress reports, and after living in the quarterly progress report world, I had recommended for us to do them twice a year instead of every quarter. And so this time, you only have to do it twice a year. Now, why is the advantage? It's because it gives us as the government an advantage, and it gives you as an advantage, too. Because there's more progress to report, one, and two, there's enough time for us to review your progress report. You hate it when it's quarterly, and it's up again. You have to do it, and then you don't have the feedback. And it's just this cycle that really is burdening for both sides, the grantee as well as us. So in this case, it's only twice a year. Now, my recommendation, for right now, and currently, our progress reports are not available online, but that's going forward. So you're the lucky grantees. This fiscal year grantees are going to enjoy having an online service, which the other ones didn't and had to do it basically hard copy. We just want to make sure that you implement a successful program. Now, these are the grantee deliverables. They will change depending on what, if you are a regional planning grant, or if you are a challenge grantee. In this case, that's the only folks that we have today. You know, we also have capacity building grantees that the deliverables are a little bit different. The final work plan, you know, I just want to touch this a little bit, and I know that they're going to also talk about, you know, how to develop your work plan, what's part of your work plan. For us here at the government, we see your initial work plan as your proposal. What you've proposed to do is that's the basis of your work plan. Everything stems out from that. Now, there is no one in this room that has scored 100. So that means that whatever you propose needs to be changed. It needs to be corrected. And those deficiencies or weaknesses that were found have to be addressed in your revised work plan. There is a reason why here at HUD, we require people to submit their revised work plan 60 days after the award. Does anyone have a clue of why we do that? I know in DOT, because I worked with DOT last year doing the Tiger grants, and they make them do all the work at the beginning. But HUD, we don't do that. And it's because we want to make sure that you get compensated for the amount of time that you spend putting this stuff together. We give you 60 days to be able to make sure that this is going to be your final and approved work plan, and that you're going to be able to make all those adjustments to the deficiencies that were found in your application and do it here, but not for free, because that's the difference. You know that any cooperative agreement, you can't charge funds to the cooperative agreement until you have an awarded and executed award, right? But in the case of DOT, they actually ask you to do some of this stuff before because they want to make sure that they are okay with awarding the grant. So we don't do that here. And you guys have 60 days from the time that everyone's clock started ticking. For most of you, if I'm not mistaken, it is February 1st, at least for some of the ones that I awarded. There's some January 15th. How many January 15th? Okay, I see a couple hands up. You already know it's 60 days from that time, right? Your time is coming up sooner than the others. My recommendation, get with your GTR right away. Make sure that you do that. Now, the logic model, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I don't have to do that presentation. I'm so glad I don't have to do that one. But the logic model is actually a requirement in HUD in general. They tailor it in order to fit the needs of the program. And the logic model was built in order to track performance across all grantees at an agency-wide level. Now, it's challenging for planning grants because you guys are not building homes. You guys are not, selling homes. You guys are not really doing anything to bricks to mortar, and everything is planning. So it's a little more challenging to even build the logic model according to your needs. And I will let Dwayne take care of that later on if it's tomorrow. But that's tomorrow, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a challenging one. Now, I already talked about the twice-a-year reports and about the deliverables in your work plan. Are there any questions? Sure. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, yeah, modification.
Or is that not that big a deal? Because I think
Mm-hmm. Do you want to say something, Dwayne?
Oh, no, I was just Dwayne Marsh. I'm pretending like I'm asking a question. I'm standing at the microphone so the recording can catch that. Oh, no, I will talk on that just a second. I think that when you get in your conversation with your GTR, we do try to build in some flexibility for those unanticipated issues, but you don't want to game the system and say, well, it's going to take us 3 years, but really it's a year and a half. And so, I mean, because then we'll start asking you, why is this taking so long? And so I think the back and forth we can build in some time for that, but you don't have to use all 36 months in your plan.
Okay,
All questions to the microphone.
Can that microphone be removed? Can we pick it up? No, they got the camera. Oh, okay. One thing to keep in mind, I think that's an excellent question, okay? Now, when we looked at your budgets, we made sure that the money that you had in your budgets were enough to perform the 36 months, okay? So that means there's salary time, work time, and all that other stuff was there embedded for the 36 months. Now, for any case scenario that you end earlier, okay? What does that mean is that you may end up having leftover money. Now, extensions are not necessarily granted and say, okay, well, let me give them this because they have leftover money. If you finish your stuff that you've applied for in 2 years instead of the 3 years, you have 1 year's money left. If you have the money left, or if you have the, now that you're putting this work plan together, an idea that you're going to have money left, you may want to oomph your work plan in order for you not to have money left. Because this program, the money that we receive, is not something that we can actually give back to someone else. Once you're done with it, It's basically done. And if you have money left there and you finish your program, that money is not coming back to HUD. It's not coming back to the office. That money is going back to Treasury. Now, we don't necessarily want the money to go back to Treasury if we can try to use it, right? And no one really likes to see that. And then they say, oh, why do they have this challenge grant money for 3 years? Yeah, maybe we shouldn't give them the money for 3 years. So with that said, is that just if you think or have an idea that you're going to finish earlier and you're going to have some money left, try to envision how you can use that money by, adding more stuff to your current work plan, okay? Yes, ma'am?
Hi, I'm Jill Locantore from the Denver region. I just wanted to clarify, you said that the grant officer or technical representative has to review any new staff that we hire. Is that just the program director and day-to-day project manager?
It's only key personnel. It's only key personnel, and the person that really is looking at the resumes and such is the GTR. It's not the grant officer, it's the GTR that will be looking at that, just to make sure the person is qualified and has the qualities that they need. Now, one interesting thing is that in the proposal, in rating factor 1, we talk about capacity, and I'm sure that you guys all remember this. I know this NOFA. I know both NOFAs by heart, by the way, so you can test me. Is that we rate on capacity. We want to make sure that you have the capacity to run the successful program. In many cases, you have the chair or the director that has the knowledge to be able to do this, but you don't have a day-to-day person. So in your proposal, you say the day-to-day person is going to be this magnificent person that has this, 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 and that. When we look at your person that you're trying to hire, we're just going back to your proposal and saying, well, they said this. So that we want to make sure that you're actually doing what you said you were going to do.
And is the key personnel the director and the day-to-day project manager, or is it broader than that?
No, it's really the
just
key
those
personnel.
two.
It's the key personnel. Now, in your grant agreement on the continuation page, on the second page, there is a little table there that there's like, in some cases, 3 or 4 people listed. Those are the people that require the approval. So if you have a placeholder there saying program director, because, to be determined or something, that would be the person that we would have to review. Now, if you're just hiring a planner to be an assistant, no. Okay. Are we ready to move into our financial world? Do you guys want to, James, do you want to jump in? You guys, okay, James, we're going to force you to jump in a minute. Okay, the famous line of credit control system. Okay, who from my dearest audience here has used locks before? Oh, wow, this is great. Because that way, everyone, did you guys see those hands? On the break, just reach out to those people. The best thing is to actually talk to someone that has already done it. Because we on the government side, we only see the government side. We don't see the grantee side. So the nicks and knacks of the experience of what a grantee goes through is not necessarily what I'm going to be able to tell you. But those hands, you want to raise those hands again, just please? See, did you see that? It was like this, and then it went like... Okay, well, the nice thing is that there's samples here. So hopefully you don't have to bother anyone. But the line of credit control system is the way that we give money to you. This is a cost reimbursable program, which means that you have to spend the money first, spend it, get billed, paid, and then ask for reimbursement to us. And what LOCKS does, it holds your money. So if you receive $3 million, if you access the system now, who already has access? Let me ask that. Oh, those couple hands, that's good. That's pretty positive. That means that your trip is going to be able to be, you're going to get reimbursed from your trip pretty soon. So you see and access the system, you'll see the $3 million there. You have to spend something from your side of the cash, you ask for reimbursement, and you do it through the system. And what we do in turn here in the government is go through your documentation, and we're going to go through that in a minute, and then we approve it. And you should see it within 48 to 72 hours. I mean, I've seen it actually happen in 24 hours, which I don't want to say that that's always going to happen, because I've also seen it taking a little bit longer. It all depends when your GTR approves it. Now, GTRs may take 3 to 5 days or maybe even more to review it, depending on all the support documentation you give it to them. Now, let me just walk through what you need to access the system for those that don't have access. But I have to say that everyone in my region that has been awarded with me has submitted all their paperwork. So I don't know about your grants, James, but mine did. Okay, the famous 27054. Now, for those that either had your form rejected, because we as Office of Sustainable Housing and Communities are not the ones that approve this, by the way. So don't fault us if you don't have access to it yet. It really is the financial office that takes care of that. Our wonderful Office of CFO is the one that handles this, and they have a locks division. And if you're here today and you can sign this stuff and you didn't submit it yet, we can walk it up even today. And some of the reasons why they find issues are these things that are circled here in this PowerPoint. Is because you didn't identify what type of user you are, you didn't identify what program it is, so you just have to make sure that those items that you see here is done. The Social Security number is a mandatory item. I'm sorry, I know people don't like to give that away, and I agree, but there's no other option. There's no alternative. And finally, down at the bottom, you see that what program area and what grant and what will you be doing, and everyone that is actually drawing down funds should be having a D there, okay? Now, this is going to give you access to the system. So the system right now says $3 million, and it's going to say, Harry Smith, who filled out this form, or no, this is Henry Castillo that knows more. He will have access to the $3 million. But what else do we need? Next slide. If we don't have your banking information, where's the money going to go? So this form here makes sure that we have the banking information within the lock system, so when you request reimbursement and you're approved for reimbursement, the money is going to show up directly in your bank account. Now, in the past, and this is just something recent, but in the past, having this form filled out was sufficient to be able to go through it. Unfortunately, banks have gotten much more strict lately, and now this office, because this is a different office too, that handles the banking stuff, and they're asking us for voided checks. So, I know it's a hassle. You know, we deal with this all the time, and we hate it. But now, if you haven't submitted a voided check and you don't have access to locks yet, I suggest to you to submit a voided check. Now, how do you get access to locks? You submit that form, and the folks that have their name down as submitting that form had to receive something in the mail. Has everyone received something in the mail yet? I'm seeing some heads nod, some heads not nod. Now, if you submitted everything and you're nodding no, I want to make sure that we write those names down because we need to track to see where your lock stuff is. Okay? So if you can ask, or I'll ask in the front to write people's names down. Just approach Frank or Young in the front, and we want to make sure where your forms are, okay? Because we don't see that. We don't see that you received access. We don't see what your number is or what your, all that's very confidential. So that gets to you in a sealed envelope from the locks office directly to you. And in that envelope, you will find a VRS number. You will find you'll be able to determine your password and all that information. That's only given to the person that's going to be accessing the system. So if you've submitted your stuff prior to February 1st or right after February 1st, please make sure, and you've not received this sealed envelope, please make sure to provide Frank or Young your name, and we'll track it down to see where it is. Because it may end up being that your form was rejected because either the signature wasn't done right, whatever reason it is, or it wasn't notarized, because this has to be notarized as well. We need to make sure that we track that down. Are there any questions in regards to this? Because I'm going to jump into reimbursement requirements now. No? Okay. Good. Reimbursement requirements. This is information that you will be providing your GTR. Your GTR is your day-to-day person. They are the people that know what you've been doing for the past 2 weeks, if you're going to be doing it every month. One thing that I do want to point out is that everyone here has a requirement to disperse funds on a quarterly basis. Did you guys get to see that in your terms and conditions? How many of you have read your terms and conditions? Okay, that makes me really happy, because for the rest of you that haven't read it, my recommendation is to read it. Because it's, the terms and conditions is like that fine print that you have in your credit card bill. It's the same thing. Really, everything that you need to know is in that terms and conditions, and every reason why we can actually pull the monies away from you is also written there. And we don't want to do that, right? So in the terms and conditions, you have a requirement to disperse quarterly. So those that you were awarded in January 15th, guess what? Pretty soon, by March, you will have to request reimbursement. So we need to make sure that you guys are in locks, that your banking information is set up, and that you can request reimbursement. Because for this program and every program here at HUD, requesting reimbursement and dispersing funds is a performance measure. We may have an excellent grantee out there in California that's rocking the house and has not requested a dime. You know who's going to lose those funds? That grantee that's rocking the house and not used a dime. Because we can't afford, when they're looking at our books, and to say, what have you been doing for the past 2 years? You don't need this money. Let's just give it to someone else. That's what Congress will do. And that's what they're going to be looking at. So we need to make sure that the funds are going out. And this is the way that we do it, is by putting in the terms and conditions quarterly disbursement requirements. There's not a minimum. You can just request your trip here, $2,000 or $3,000. But you have to do it at the minimum on a quarterly basis. Is everyone okay with that? Okay. Now, when you're submitting your request for reimbursement, there's a form that you provide, and there's also the supporting documentation. Now, let's talk about the supporting documentation for a second before I switch the button and go into the form. Receipts, invoices, things, let's say in this case, receipt from your itinerary, your trip, your stubs, that is going to be part of your reimbursement requirement. We don't want to see pay stubs for every individual that you've hired and that you are just paying off of the grant. A payroll attachment is enough for that. But it's important that you understand that the GTRs actually go through this. They go through individual documents, see that it's paid, see when it was dated, and to make sure that nothing is falling into that loop that has been accrued or paid for before your award execution date. And sometimes it slips, because it's not only you guys doing this, it's whoever your accounting folks is doing it, and it could go in. We look at all that information, and in that, we also look at this form here. Now, this is the form that you use to request reimbursement. Now, the first question that you're going to have, and I can assure you that, is when you're filling out this form is, what is my number? The voucher number there always starts with 107. 107 is for this program is 107. So that 107 is always going to be there. The LOX program area is OSHC. That's always going to be there. Now, whatever your EIN number, that's determined by you. And this number here that you see, the voice response number, is the number that you received in your sealed envelope. Okay? Now, does everyone here know their cooperative agreement number or their grant number? Yes? I know Carol does. Carol was one of my grantees. For the regional one, and it starts with your state, so whatever it is on your form, it's the instrument number. So if you have a grant and you're from Texas, it starts with TX. For the community challenge grants, the number always starts with CCP. So this is a number that identifies you not only for requesting reimbursement, but this number also identifies you for reporting into the FFATA, the USAspending.gov database. So make sure that we know that number really well. Let me go. Okay. Reimbursement requirements. Still here. This is the part 3. We are using a part of a form that's being used by another office. If you are familiar with the Paper Reduction Act, I know if you are, that's PRA. And what we decided to do, instead of going through the 1-year hurdle of trying to get that, we just decided to use this form until we get our online system up and running. Basically, the numbers that go under your HUD negotiated budget are the numbers that you have in your cooperative agreement. On the continuation page of your cooperative agreement, at the top of the page, you will see how your budget breakdown is, and it's broken down by categories. Those are the same numbers that go in here, okay? Now, when you're requesting reimbursement, you fill out the second column of how much you spent from those line items. In some cases, if you've released an RFP and you have a consultant working for you, so in some cases, and many of you, I know that, a lot of that money is just going there, directly there. You're reimbursing them every time that they ask you for reimbursement. You pay them and you ask for the money back from us. So that would go under the subrecipient line under 7. And this is how we understand how you're spending your money. It is also how we understand if you are actually doing any changes, okay? Meaning that initially you had said that you were going to spend $500,000 in personnel, and now you have $450,000. Now those minor changes, not necessarily minor, but those changes don't require a modification to your grant agreement, but it's tracked here. So we see where the monies are coming from one side and another side. And I'll talk about modifications in a little bit. And HUD expended to date is the cumulative amount that you've spent, and the balance, pretty straightforward, and your match contribution. And I know that we're going to be talking about what we expect and how do you track your match and what you have to do, because especially for the regional grantees, you have partners, and in some cases you have over 60 partners, and in some cases your 60 partners are actually doing in-kind contributions and giving you staff time or whatever they're giving you, and you want to make sure that you're tracking that. And this is the column that you're going to actually be using. Once we receive all of that, meaning the 27053, this part 3 form, your backup documentation, you send that via email. You don't have to fax it. You send that via email to your GTR. You give if you want to give them a buzz and say, hey, I just sent you an email with this. They'll review it. Once they approve it, given it 3 to 5 days, if they have any comment on it saying, you don't have anything reflected for your $10,000 here. You look for the backup documentation, you give that back. Once it's approved, like I said, it takes about 48 to 72 hours to show up in your account. Okay? Now, any questions? Do you want to come over here to the microphone, please? Okay, James. You're going to do reporting requirement?
Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry, just a really short, quick question, but in the match column, do you want cumulative or do you want within that reimbursed request?
Cumulative.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Now, the other place where you're going to be reporting on match is in your standard form 425, which is a required deliverable with each one of your reports. And I'm going to invite, and let's force James with an applause to come to the mic. James, please come to the mic. Okay. And let him, you're welcome.
I'm James. Obviously, all you guys west of the Mississippi, I've had conversations with all of you. So let's kind of start off. I know during the budget negotiations with my team, we've kind of had the discussions about what reporting requirements would have as you guys progressed forward. As you guys know, our calendar goes from January to June. Even if you guys start in February, your first reporting date is still going to be June. It goes through June 30th, and then obviously you have 30 days after the fact to actually do the report. A lot of times we get them later in July. That's pretty standard. Let's see. The big ones that we have are the SF 425. We have any updates to the logic model. So if for some reason you guys are going to change your work plan, or if it's changing the outcomes or measurables that you have, you'll report it at that time during the biannual reporting. The HUD 6002 form, that's a standardized form here at HUD that all of our grants are required to perform. Let's see, what's the other one? Oh, the FFATA stuff. Some of you guys do FFATA already, some of you don't. If you have any questions, particularly about that, feel free to either contact myself or Deborah when Malcolm gets back, or Malcolm. Thaddeus should be able to help you as well. They vary from grantee to grantee, but we can cover all that for you. That's a little more specified. And then the final report, when you guys wrap up, is actually due 90 days after the closing period. Obviously, that's to wrap up any sort of financials, if you have any outstanding invoices, wrapping up your deliverables. That's it's pretty straightforward. The 90 days is after the 36 months, correct? That's at the very end, so it's like 39 month, yes. So that's actually like it has to be done within the 39 months. I think that's it for that slide. So this one goes into a little more about FFATA. Obviously, you guys all have struggled with FFATA, particularly during the ERA and the Recovery Act funds that you guys, most of you have received, whether through highway or through your state DOT departments. Do you guys have anything specifically, questions about FFATA or FFATA reporting requirements? Have you guys ran into anything? No? No hands? No questions? I know, they're very quiet today. It's because they're waiting. They're all waiting for us to finish this up, and then they're going to jump us out in the hall and be like, I have so many questions. Moving forward, so basically understanding your standard cooperative agreement. Yep, go ahead.
It's really hard to get around here quickly.
Yeah, I think tomorrow we might do a little different description.
I put my hand up, but I'm way far back. My question, because I haven't done that, FATA. Does that address any contracting requirements? I see the limits on 25,000, but does that address numbers of bids we have to receive or certifications of bidders or?
Let me touch on that real quick, because obviously I've been receiving a ton of emails from you guys, particularly about procurement and what requirements we have, what regulations we follow. To kind of touch on that really, really fast, basically, we don't preclude any of your guys' state or local regulations. We have, for some of you, the consortium members or subs. I actually have specific language, which I believe I provided to Denver already, that I can send out to everybody if you need it. That's more specific on the guidance. Basically, if you're a sub or if you're a consortium member, somebody that you guys already have a previous relationship with, or somebody that you're bringing in as a sub, you don't have to go out and do an RFP or an RFQ for. If it's somebody that you're going out for, if you guys don't have a specific preclusion inside of your procurement policies, then you guys will have to competitively compete it.
And the procedure that we use for that competitive bidding is not already predestined? We could just adopt one around that we have, or?
Do you have one currently or no?
Well, yeah, we work with MDOT fund, or Department of Transportation funds, so we have FHWA procurement.
That actually is, a lot of times that's more strict than ours. Because DOT holds you guys to be pretty accountable as to like what you guys can and can't do with your funding. A lot of times at the state level too, you guys actually have like local competitiveness clauses. You guys will have like minimum of 3 to 5 competitive bids. We generally don't step into that. If it's something that you can sole source, or if it's something that you have to do an 8A for, obviously you're more than able to do that. But if for some reason your procurement processes at your entity force you guys to go out competitive, we can't supersede that.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, just a clarification on all the reports, because a lot of them overlap with ones that we have to do, like with block grant and such. So, like the biannual reporting, is this superseding the fact that, so, okay, for the 425, we're going to report for a CDBG recipient, that along with this grant together on the same report?
That's correct.
So, like, I turn that in quarterly to my local head office. Would we just do the same report, but obviously send to our GTR and our HUD office every quarter?
That's correct. And have you went out to the website? Have you did the USA spending? Do you guys report your 425 out there as well?
Hold on, I can't.
Do you report your 425 out on like USA spending as well?
No, we just send it in.
Okay.
That's the guidance that we've received. And then the once a year for the Section 3 summary report. Okay, cool, thank you.
You're welcome. See, I'm much better at the Q&A. It's the slide thing that I hate. This whole organized format's terrible.
Hi, good morning, James. Chris with the City of Garland. We have a very tiny grant. I'm looking at the last bullet saying expenditures less than $300,000. That's grant expenditures?
Yes.
Okay.
With this, Fafata. So yes, for you.
Any other questions? We good for the time? Okay.
Jump in.
Understanding your cooperative agreement, I know some of you, I've went in a little more in depth with the actual like 1044 and like what's involved with it and the actual appendices and the documents that are associated with it. Some of the basic ones, come right out of like A133. All of you guys are really familiar with that, I'm sure. Probably know it frontwards and backwards. A lot of it's pretty standard for the grant world. I don't think I'm going to read through all of these unless someone deems it necessary. Do you deem it necessary to read through all that?
I think we can take a minute, because this is actually what took the longest during when we did the webinar. Were all of you here able to connect in the webinar? Everyone's saying like, yes. Okay. So there's no need of us having to go through this in detail, but let's just pause for a second and make sure that everything that you may be interested in, I'm going to highlight some of these points. If you have questions in regards to this, this is where you guys are going to have probably the most questions. Thanks. For the allowable cost, that's pretty straightforward, as James indicated. Now, is any of you interested in an advance payment? Okay. Now, let me just talk about the advance payment for 1 second. Advance payment means that you can actually request, I believe that we've established it at 5% of your total grant amount in advance of it being actually spent. Remember I said that this is a cost reimbursable grant, that you need to spend the money to get the money? This is the one-time thing that you can request before actually spending the money. Now, in many cases, and it's very clear in the terms and conditions, it says it's really for setup activities. So if you're going to need money to go out with a contract for your website, or if you're going to need money to establish a lease agreement with office space, if you're going to need money to, work with a recruiter to be able to hire your staff. Those are setup activities that you actually need in order to start implementing your program, and that actually can be requested through an advance payment. Now, it's not to be used as a slush fund. I want to be clear with that, because this money that we give you actually accrues interest. So the longer you have it, the more interest it accrues, and that money needs to come back to us, meaning the interest, right? So if you need the money because of the reasons that I just mentioned right now, or other reasons that can be considered setup activities, you are allowed to request an advance payment. Last year, we had a lot of grantees that did. I was actually surprised this year because many of you didn't even ask for it, or many didn't even ask about how to get one. This is the only request that needs to be reviewed by your grant officer. The rest of them are reviewed by your GTR. This is the only one that the grant officer will be looking at, because they look at your budget to be able to do that, the detail of your budget, and because the grant officers right now know the ins and out of your budget more than anyone else. So that's why. Yes, Dwayne?
The only other thing I'd add is keeping in mind that the response times Leica mentioned earlier, which can be, in a pinch, can be as short as 8 to 10 days, to consider that if you're considering that as an alternative to the advance. So we can, as your GTR, we can talk about that.
Okay. Now, no questions? I know that there was two raised hands. Carol, do you mind coming to the microphone? Thanks.
Okay, with regard to proof of payment, a canceled check, is okay? Okay.
That's okay.
Proof of payment, cancel check. And then, since our partners in the private side, what do we need for them to provide and back up to that column on match as substantiation? Ours worked, I mean, I think that one of our partners is the developer that is going to be putting an employment center in this area. So he's paying for a lot of consultant expenditures and things like that to get his property through the approval process. What do we get from them to show, to quantify that amount? I know it's probably going to be in excess of the amount that they committed, but what would you consider reasonable backup for a partner like that?
Okay. That would be considered in-kind contribution, because what they're giving you is not straight cash out of their pocket back to you.
No, right.
And in-kind contributions, they vary. And some, I'm going to state some of the common ones, and we also have some of this information in our NOFA, so if you could take a look at that. But we have staff hours, we have services like even providing you gas or vehicle mileage. It also could be the use of office space, the use of their IT service for, either IT support. It could range incredibly. Now, specifically for what you're saying, is that they're going to be spending some money, and it may be a variation of things. It could be staff hours, it could be other things as well. My recommendation is for that grantee or sub-grantee of yours or partner of yours to provide you with an invoice or a memo stating this, breaking it down for you, and with the cash amount. The cash amount is really here the key, right? Here, that's really the key of what they're doing. Now, are we going to be looking at and saying, okay, well, you said in your application that they're going to be giving 500 hours and you've only given us 30 hours? We can take a look at that detail. It all depends on what you've included as a description in your work plan.
Okay, so tie it back to that in terms of what the backup substantiation needs to be.
Your partner really needs to provide that with you and say how they split it up between the staff time. In many cases, and most of you, when you provided your support documentation for your leverage resources or match, because I know that all of you had to do this in order to qualify for this program, you provided a letter from the entity that was providing you with the monies or in-kind contribution, and in that letter they said, we will be providing 600 hours of staff time to this. So that's what we hold you up against. Say, okay, well, they said 600 hours, let's report on the 600 hours, and how much is the 600 hours worth? I don't want to see a salary of $250,000 a year, for someone that's holding a pole, for example. I mean, it has to be reasonable, and this goes back to the allowable cost section. One thing we always have to keep in mind as a cooperative agreement under the federal government is that any monies that are being used, either it's cash contribution, straight up cash contribution, or if it's going to be in-kind contribution, has to be an eligible activity of the program. What does that mean? That means you got anyone here, most of the regional planning grants are going to be doing scenario planning. And for example, an in-kind contribution could be the meeting space. That's an allowable cost under your grant. It's an allowable cost. It could be, easily could be leverage resources under the grant program because it's something that you would use the HUD funds to do. If it's something that you can't use the HUD funds to do, that's right there. It's not a leverage resources. It can't be matched.
Just to touch on that, we actually are working through policy guidance right now and a reporting form through the PRA process, the Paper Reduction Act, for in-kind and leverage. So you guys will be receiving a form that'll make your lives a lot simpler when it comes to actually reporting match.
There we go. Just to run through some of these things. Amendments, we're going to talk about that. Deborah Rohn is going to address all the cooperative agreement amendments or changes. Amount of cost share, you know that's basically your match contribution or your leverage resources. Your CCR, is everyone familiar with that? I know that everyone that received a grant here has a CCR number. Now, one caveat here is that these terms and conditions also trickle down to your subrecipients. So there's a flow down provisions. If you go switch to the next page, please. In your cooperative agreement, which means that everything that you have to do to comply with us also has to be done by your subrecipients. And there is no cash minimum amount. We talked about locks earlier. Oh, thanks. We talked about FFATA. Your conduct of work, everyone here that has received an award means that they've submitted to us our conflict of interest change. Many of you have just given us your HR handbook. Some cases you've pulled it out for us. This is addressed here. Confidentiality, basically what it covers is that if you're going to be tracking any information of the people that will be attending your meetings, is that you need to make sure that there's a disclosure that that information is not going to be shared. Many of you are going to be either having a sign-up book or sign-up sheet at the front of your meeting to make sure that you're tracking the number of people that attended. Make sure that you're not also tracking any confidential information that they would consider confidential. That's covered in this terms and conditions. Contact information updates, this is a big one. Actually, let me just pause for a second here. If any one of you gets the lottery and is going to accept a new job, I want that, is that you are required to inform us. So if, your director or whoever signed your agreement, be it the chief of your office, and they've decided to retire or they got the lottery, you have to tell us. We can't find out. So that's your obligation to let us know if anyone there on that 1044 is changing the authorizing rep or your point of contact, or you've decided to move offices and you're going to go into a lead building or something, and now you don't have the same address. You have to let the grant officer know, not only the GTR, but the grant officer know as well.
To touch on that real quick, with grants.gov, some of the stuff that you guys submitted with your 424 that went through grants.gov, a lot of that information has changed. Some of you have as your mayors as points of contact, assistant, deputies kind of thing as points of contact. You guys need to change that because we're having a hard time communicating with you, or if it has to flow through a whole chain to get down to you. Feel free to myself, your GTR, and we'll make sure that we get that situated for you.
Then we go. I think copyrights.
Just a clarifying question regarding the signature on the 1044. Ours is signed by our city manager, so if we've been informed within a certain amount of time he's going to retire, do we have to, in that 3-year period, so what you're saying is we're going to have to disclose that?
You're going to have to let us know. It doesn't mean that your city manager, the new one, if comes, is going to have to sign a new 1044. It just means that now we're informed that that change happened, and we'll update the form accordingly to that.
Okay.
Okay. I think we walked through most of this during the presentation today. I'm just going to pause on the defaults and disputes. This is when I have to be mean, or Deb Roan's going to have to be mean, James is going to have to be mean, because we as grant officers are the ones that can pull the money away. We can terminate you. We can suspend you. We have the authority to do that. Now, we don't do it deliberately. I'm like, okay, you looked at me wrong, money back. No, it doesn't work that way. There's a procedure in place that goes through that. And I know that Deb is going to talk about some of the amendments and changes, and she may also address that if we decide to suspend you because there's been an allegation or a tipping complaint saying that you are using your funds or misusing your funds, we can proceed in doing that, and we may suspend you. Now, how do you find out that you're going to be suspended? It's a formal letter that you will receive from the grant officer. But when something like that takes place, it normally is always given to you first by your GTR. GTR is going to call you like, oh my God, you're in really big trouble. And then we proceed with all the steps that are done. Now, what is a default? If you don't comply with anything in the terms and conditions, you are already at default. Do we take every step the same way? Maybe not. Really, some things are worked through with your GTR and don't require an amendment, don't require a suspension or anything like that. But like I remember I said that if you even have a successful program and you've been submitting your deliverables, but you have not dispersed a penny, guess what? I will be the first one encouraging for that money to be pulled back. Because this grant program had over 800 applicants, believe me, we can find a person that can use it. We can find another entity. So that's a big one. That's a big default. That's one that's a serious one. And I know that our last round of grantees have been already receiving the warning letters from grant officers saying, you know what, you don't disperse funds, these funds can still come back to us. Remember I told you that we have a 3-year life, the funds have like a 3-year life? We have that time to be able to give it to someone else. If we don't do it on time, the money goes back to Treasury, and we don't want that to happen. So that's a big default. Another big default is that if you're not submitting your reports, you're not providing any progress reports. Now, I hate to hear when GTRs say to me, I've contacted my grantee and I have not heard back. Okay, 1 missed call, acceptable. 2 missed calls, it's pushing my limit. No return emails, it's serious. So I'm not going to call you again, or no one here is going to call you again. It's going to go directly to the authorized rep and saying, your employee is not being responsive to us. And so you have to be responsive. Everyone has very busy schedules, and that's understandable, which means that if you are not going to be available, and this is standard in any office work, you have to assign and leave your voice message to say, please contact this person. Because there's things that can happen. I mean, you could have had an emergency, you're not around. I mean, it could be many things that happen. But the minute that I hear a GTR saying my grantee is not being responsive, as a grant officer, I feel like pulling out the suspension letter. So that's a default. We can just skip that. No one should be charging, I mean, hardly, I don't think anyone did equipment. We already talked about locks. Fair housing and civil rights. This is a long portion of your terms and conditions. This is something that is obviously instructed from higher up. Any grantee that receives HUD funds, any HUD funding that's released, we are very strict about this, and it goes through here. So let's say, for example, it happens for the city of Boston. And we are told by our Office of Fair Housing here that there's been a civil rights violation. We, in turn, even if it's not in your same place, but it's in the city, we can actually suspend you. That's how strict it is. Now, there's obviously, like I said, there's steps that are taken to make sure that this doesn't happen. We find out, we inform you, you talk to the attorneys, there has to reach a settlement, the city reaches a settlement with the Office of Fair Housing, and then we can go ahead and let you use your funds again. So this normally takes some time, and we inform you if something like that happens. But it is very strict, and it's pretty clear in the terms and conditions.
We kind of already touched on flow down provisions a little bit. Obviously, the same requirements that follow you also fall down to your subs. A lot of you guys have subs. It's probably a 50-50 split between subs and contractors, consultants that you guys are bringing on board. Substantial involvement. That's obviously a fairly large clause. Most of you that have reviewed like the 1044, the complete one with the appendix sheets, it's a pretty good size clause. It's 3 paragraphs on the 1044. It's pretty good size. The indirect costs, some of you we've had conversations. Not all of you have cognizant agencies. Some of you are recognizing it as other direct costs. Some actually have stated that they want to move forward with indirect cost allocation plans. Obviously, that's kind of like it as a per entity basis. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact the grant officer specifically on your situation. The limitation on consultant payments, that one's generally a big one. That's a GS 15 step 10. For this program, it actually has no locality pay. It's in our terms and conditions. It's also in the general section. Basically what that states is that no consultant that you guys bring on board can make more than a GS 15 step 10 during any calendar year. That doesn't include benefits. That's strictly salary. Let's see. Anything else on that one you want to touch on?
No, I think we can go to the next slide. Unless you guys have any questions in regards to what we're seeing in your screen.
You guys that have obviously went through your terms and conditions, and there was a whole lot of hands raised, probably have seen most of this. A lot of you that had questions specifically, again, not to pick on Denver, but I know Denver has sent a lot of stuff across already where they wanted clarification or a specific regulation that where it came from. We could provide that as well. Sometimes legal gets involved and they want to see where it came from, so we can do that for you too.
James, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
It's Vicki from Central Ina again. This was addressed in the webinar, but I think we came away with more questions still regarding the limitation on consultant payments.
Of course.
It's clear to us that GS 15 Step 10 is the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. It is.
But we wanted to make sure that then the local add-on does not apply. Or does it?
I'm sorry?
The local add-on?
No, it does not.
Okay. And so if we have someone who comes to us at a skill level that's below GS 15, are we allowed to add the local add-on to theirs as long as that local add-on doesn't take them above GS 15?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Generally speaking, the way that we do it is there's two formulas. The one formula is that if they're going to spend 2,080 hours with you, is that it breaks down to about $67 an hour with some change. If they're only spending partial time through the year, then the maximum limit is obviously the GS 15. I believe it's 29, something like that, yeah. So there's two formulations for it. So depending on how you guys have your contract structured, a lot of you aren't going to have consultants or contractors on board full-time for all 3 years. A lot of times when we run into issues with this is if you guys have legal consultants that are fulfilling a CEO role or executive director role, if you guys have accountants that are on staff like full board, and you guys are paying them that way. That's generally when we run into these issues, because a lot of times it's not a big problem because normally they're only working 1,000 hours, 500 hours here, 600 hours there. So, you're welcome.
Okay, just walking through and taking a look at the screen to see if we should go ahead and pause at any time. Just want to go back and address one thing that I know that it's pretty clear in your grant agreement, but I think it's probably worth mentioning again, and it's the HUD substantial involvement. That's the biggest difference between a cooperative agreement and a grant agreement, is that in the cooperative agreement, the government has much more influence on how you are basically implementing your program. And we are responsible of issuing program policy guidance, we call them the program policy guidance issuances, to be able to do this and make sure that that it's not just on a one-to-one basis, the guidance provided to you. We have, variation of questions like, why can't we serve food at meetings, or why is food not an allowable cost? So we've issued a guidance to address that for all of you. But in some cases, it really is the substantial involvement goes down to reviewing your RFP, reviewing your request for services, and making sure that it's covering the stuff that you've mentioned in your proposal. Now, a lot of grantees are not used to this because and I'm not saying all of you here, just from the time that I've been implementing this program, I've noticed that some of you are used to getting the money, doing your thing, and requesting it and waiting 5 weeks to get the money back, because I've heard that DOT is not as fast as us. Yay, HUD. But we also have to keep in mind is that if you're going to pick a contractor, no one should be picking the contractor without having shared that with the GTR. Is that clear with everyone here? Yes? No? Yes. No one should be hiring staff without having shared that resume with your GTR, if it's key personnel. I know you guys are looking at each other. Did you guys already do that? We just want to make sure that the people that you hire are obviously qualified. We want to make sure that the folks that you contract with are the best around. So those are items where we consider the substantial involvement on the cooperative agreement. I love Dwayne when he has to add stuff.
Yes, I just want to, on this one, I think over time what you'll get to notice too is what that often turns into is us having some helpful input. So we now have an experience over the past year working with other regional and challenge grantees and some of the struggles they've had. You might submit to us, you might say, we put out this request, we got 20 responses, and we'll say, well, when you get down to your 6 finalists that you're thinking about interviewing, let us know and send us those resumes. You send us those resumes, we take a look. We're more likely to say something like, hey, we're noticing this common theme in your applicants. Are you guys thinking about asking questions around this during the interview or something along those lines? And then also, it saves you some time, because if we've approved the 6 that you are looking to interview, theoretically, when you make your choice and you come back to us and say, we made this selection, it's a pretty short review for us to say, go ahead. So I can probably count on one hand, and I've got about 28 grantees from the year 1, the times I've said, we should talk about this. But it's important that you ask permission, not forgiveness, because it just becomes problematic if we're not in that process.
Just a bit of a follow-up to Dwayne's. What's the expected turnaround time for a response for our GTR in such a situation? Thinking about the RFP, RFQ process, and our local procurement policies in relationship to developing the work plan, just trying to figure out the timeline. Is it something, if we provide them with our short list, are we going to get a response in 3 days, a week, a month? What should we expect?
Hopefully never a month.
You will get a response in time. No, we actually we actually work to be responsive to the timetables you're on, and you can alert us when you have a pressing time administration that'll bump you up a little bit, but don't abuse their privilege, because we'll know who cried wolf.
We're actually pretty cognizant of the fact when you guys go out with RFPs, RFQs, that you guys are going to take like a 90 to 120 day lead time, just like we do when we go to procure anything. 90 days is being very optimistic, so we know that for some of you it takes a little longer. So we are cognizant of your guys' lead times and when it goes to stuff like that. Same thing with HR. We know that it takes a while for you guys to get through HR. So, if you inform us that, hey, we need to move this slower, we need to move this, this can take a little bit longer, or this is something that we're going to do in year 2, but can you take a look at it? Here's kind of like the basic parameters. We can actually get ahead of some of that stuff, and we'll try to help you as much as you help us.
And it doesn't mean that we have to prove everything, right? When we say substantial involvement, there are specific things that we want to see that are listed there. And one of them primarily is the contractors. The other one is your staff. Other things that we have to take a look at, which is listed here, is also the publications. If it's going to take the HUD logo and you're going to carry the HUD logo, which is right, and this is HUD money, and you have to use the HUD logo, we need to see it. We need to make sure that there's no, information that can be misused or misinformed. We have to take a look at that. Now, there's one thing that, has, as modern as the federal government is, that if you're going to be tweeting, if you're going to be using Facebook, I don't know, all these modern ways of now networking, is that first thing that you're going to post, we can't review what people are going to be responding, right? But that first thing that is going to be posted needs to be reviewed by your GTR as well.
Let me just go back up a little bit. Personnel is always a big issue, particularly key personnel. It kind of takes 2 fronts. One is on the 1044, there's the list of key personnel. Generally, it's 3 to 5 people. Some have a little more. As I had mentioned earlier, normally it's the executive director. It's normally the CFO or the finance person that's going to be handling the grant. A lot of times it's the senior planner, or if you have a GIS manager that's doing a lot of work on your projects. Those are pretty standard, what we see. Obviously, for key personnel, we wouldn't want you to report, admin staff or a junior analyst type of function. It would just get hairy if for some reason every time somebody left, you guys had to do a modification to your 1044. For those positions that are considered key, as you mentioned previously, they do have to get approval through the GTR. Again, it does go back to capacity and your guys' ability to perform what you guys have said you would perform in your application and through your work plan. Just to touch on publications and news releases, all the GTRs have they vary as to how they handle it. We have a couple legal beagles on our staff that are GTRs, so obviously they approve stuff a little quicker. Some of the other ones that are more junior analyst level, they obviously go through our public affairs office and they actually review the releases.
Just a couple of clarifying questions. Doug Johnson from San Francisco Bay Area. On the RFP and on the hiring process, do you guys need to see what we send out, or do you just want to see that short list of 5 or 6 responses?
Everything. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. No. We do want to see the RFP. We want to see what the statement of work that you're issuing. And it's really just to ensure that what you had addressed in your proposal or your work plan is being covered. So we will take a look at that and provide you feedback if needed. Now, turnaround time, because I like when people talk turnaround time. Put the pressure on the government. We want to see from you also what your expectation is to the turnaround time. Don't tell us 90 days because we'll take the 90 days. And that's just how it works. I mean, all of you are the same. We are all the same. So if your task and your item in your work plan says that you need to have this in place in 3 weeks, you need to inform your GTRs, like, according to our work plan, this needs to be done in 3 weeks, and then 1 week, whatever it is. And that way, the pressure is to get the feedback from us. Now, we give you the feedback, you input it, and you release it. That's it. It doesn't mean that you're going to need a signed letter or approving your GTR saying your RFP's been approved. An email is sufficient, a phone call is sufficient, and you move forward. Once you get your feedback in, you do your review, and you will see, let's say you get 12 proposals, and you determine that from the 12 proposals, 5 of them are just completely, ludicrous pricing or whatever it is, okay? And you select 7, and you go through the 7, and whatever you do internally, because, normally you guys rate them, everyone, when they receive, they are rated in some way, some fashion. You come to a short list. Your short list may be 3. You provide that information to your GTR. You may, if it's your decision, you can go ahead and provide the list of 7 and say, from the 7, we decided these 3, and do you have some input to help us with our selection? The same thing. GTR can go through it. They'll go look at the information and say, well, this is the one that we think the best, but these 2 also cover it. We leave it up to your decision. And it's your decision, basically, but you've already informed us about it. That's how it works.
Great, thanks. And then my second question then is around the fair housing. So we have a region of 110 jurisdictions. Not all of them are expected to be in our consortium. So I'm curious if you could comment on how fair housing issues that pop up in cities that aren't inside of our consortium might affect our regional grant. Thanks.
Okay, it really is when it comes down to the funding, meaning that you can access the money, okay? Now, initially, before you can have a grant from HUD, you may not have any civil rights violation, okay? And if you had one, there had to be a settlement reached with our Office of Fair Housing that's addressing that civil rights violation, okay? So we've already reviewed that. We reviewed that up front before actually signing the award. That's what we did in the whatever 3 weeks process that it took after the awards were announced. We go back and we take a look to see, because this information is available to the public. It's available to you as well. All of this information is available to you as well. It's not our little hidden database that we have with fair housing. No, this is available to all of you. So you can see if your city or there's a local government that has been found with a civil violation. Now, as a regional planning grant, yes, your region covers a lot, and it covers various cities, and some cities are your partners and some cities are not your partners. But because they're falling in your region, does that mean that you have to be accountable for these entities? The answer is no. Okay? So if this city was not your partner, it's not receiving HUD funds, that's the trick here, really the key item is who's getting the money. Okay, if they're not getting the money from you, we can alert you of it, but there's nothing that you can do about it. I hope that clarified your question. Mm-hmm.
Clarifying question about the tweeting and getting that approved. Is that if we're specifically mentioning HUD or the Sustainable Communities Grant or anything, if we're announcing a public meeting that we want people to come to?
Is he your GTR?
Yes.
Is Dwayne your GTR?
Yes, we're on the case. So currently in the terms and conditions,
It says, I forget the exact language, but you must approve this 2 business days before, and it lists social media amongst the things. It's kind of hard to tweet with the 2-day advance notice, and we were aware of that. So we were actually working with the Office of Public Administration right now to see how we can work through that. One thing I'll say, on Facebook posts, for instance, we actually have some grantees who give us a sense of the posts that they are generating and that they intend to generate, and we keep an eye on that. But we're trying to get something that's codified into policy guidance that will make it more nimble for social media. So you should just look out for a policy guidance about that soon. Personally, I've never tweeted, but I know that would be hard to do.
Unfortunately, that's like an actual HUD agency-wide, and it's something that they've been trying to address for the last 2 years. Sometimes we work a little slower, so they're trying to address all the social issues.
One more quick question. Can you address in publications, the 60-day period, interim and final reports submitted to HUD may not be released for 60 days after acceptance by GTR? Is that after receipt or after acceptance, and why is that?
Okay, I'm
What's
sorry.
happening
Are we
during
talking about reporting deliverables, or are we talking about the publications?
It's paragraph 2 under the publications section.
Okay, specifically publications.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is a publication. This is more of a formal publication. It's not like your newsletter. It's not like a reach-out document. It's more of like a publication of maybe an evaluation report of your grant. Basically, you provide it to your GTR for approval. Once approved, you don't have to wait the 60 days. Okay, you don't have to wait the 60 days, but you have to allow us, and it all depends of the depth of the publication. That's the limit that we've provided. I guess HUD has provided. It's not just OSHC thing, it's actually HUD thing for review of the publication. In many cases, we do actually have this go to public affairs and take a look at it. But like I said, it all depends on the nature of the publication. Not all the publications would fall into this. We're talking about like a book, or I see this more applicable to those that are doing research included with their program. We will make sure that after you guys come back from lunch, that's done. I've already asked someone to work on that because, yeah, you guys seem to be, are you guys getting warm? I can imagine. There's a lot of love here.
If we have, one of our project partners has a series of on-call consultants that were procured under federal guidelines, FTA federal guidelines. We intend hopefully to use the services of those consultants for a portion of the work program. Is that permissible?
And I know that James sort of addressed this earlier, if it has already been included within your initial application that you said that they're going to be using them, yes.
Great.
That's a really important piece, is that, for example, many of you have actually hired consultants to help you write your application. How many of you guys done that? Does that mean that you have to release a new proposal to work, RFP to hire them? No. They were already part of this. So anything that was already included within your proposal, you can still move forward with that.
Let me touch on that one real quick. If for some reason your entity already has a BPA or like a task order that's already outstanding, so you're already in a contractual obligation with this other firm, and you guys want to write specific task orders that fit within scope of that contract, for purposes of this grant, you guys are allowed to do that without going back out for BPA, like without going back out for proposal. So it just has to fit within the scope that you guys already have.
Okay, Melissa Leith from Denver. I have a question. If we have subs that are going to hire subs and they're going through an RFP process, do you also need to see their paperwork?
No.
Now, I mean, just going through the screen and making sure that we highlight some of those items that may come up, going through it, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that none of you here today has received special conditions to your award. Is that the case? James, did you have any special conditions?
Yeah, let me touch on that real quick, because reporting, the single audit, and special conditions all kind of fall within each other. Basically, obviously, we perform a single audit review for everyone. If you guys don't have a corrective action plan in place, then we can actually put you in the high-risk category. What happens with that is we actually move you from a semi-annual reporting requirement down to a quarterly, sometimes monthly if it's very severe. A lot of times the effects come from CDBG funds or from housing agencies. That's normally the ones that affect you guys the most. I know most of you receive highway or DOT funds standardly. This is kind of like an anomaly for most of you. So a lot of times what we'll have to do is we'll add a special condition inside of there where, again, it increases reporting. It might be your frequency of communication back and forth. I actually do have a couple grantees that we are working through single audit issues that aren't necessarily directly involved with their department, but it's directly involved with the entity as a whole because the city applied and not as the department that applied. So if you guys have any questions with that or any issues with resolving those, always feel free to contact your grant officer. A lot of times we'll help you when it comes to that reporting front and when it comes to special conditions.
Okay, now just going back in the subrecipient monitoring, that's addressing your flow down provisions. Basically, the monitoring that you have to provide to your subrecipient has to be more stringent or equal as the one that we're going to be providing to you. And then finally, there's the whistleblower protection, basically saying that if you acknowledge and you know or of any of misuse of funds, that you need to let the OIG know. And there's a phone number there in your terms and conditions that state that. Now we're going to move on to, is there any questions? Now? No? Perfect. Okay. Now, we're going to invite Deborah Rohn to lead us in the cooperative agreement modifications. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, James.
Wow, this is what I get for the first day, right? First day. I'm taking over Malcolm's as a grant officer. How many of you all are Malcolm's grantees? Wow. Okay. Okay, all right. Basically, a grant officer, we negotiate, we execute the grant. Our signature is all over the place in reference to the 1044. So we really have to look at everything. Documentation is everything. Of course, you have to go to the GTR first, and then it comes to the grant officer. We're going to go over this change point. Of course, that's meaning your AO. We touched on it earlier, dealing with your authorized official. Whoever is on your application, the 424, there's a key person, and then on the back it says authorized representative. Representative. That is the person who must be, is your AO. That is the person that has to sign all of your 1044s. If there is a change in that, we touched on it earlier, please just make sure you tell your GTR, give some type of memorandum telling us some kind of justification of why they left, the date that they left, the date of the new AO, that type of information. That's very important for us to, so we won't have to kick it back and go back and forth. So. Key personnel change, of course, we touched on that also. It's like 3 definite key persons. If there's any change, we have to, of course, deal with that in reference to any type of change. Key personnel change, we must know. That's pretty easy. The budget, wow. The budget, anything that has changed, well, the 10%, of the total of the federal grant amount. That could be in reference to, say, a match. Your match, something went wrong with your match. That would be a change in the budget, your initial budget that we negotiated on. Sometimes that happens, but of course the federal, our portion, it cannot go beyond 10%, but sometimes there is a change in the match and whatever it may be, and we must know that because that changes your whole budget. That in your budget and your 1044 have to be the same. Okay. Extension. This is a 3-year, okay. Normally, we do get a lot of extensions. We can't go beyond a year. You have to have special permission if you want to extend it beyond, say you go 3 years, say you want to do an extra year. For whatever reason, we can allow it, but nothing past that. Normally, you know, sometimes cooperative agreements, I'm not sure. A regular grant normally requests that. A cooperative agreement normally don't, but it can happen. And just do the justification to your GTR. Grant officer, like I said, is our point of contact is the GTR. We must talk with them, we work together, and then we'll communicate with you all if that should come up. Change your work. Was there a question?
Deb, let me just add some things. That any of these modifications, when you are requesting a modification, all of them have to be done by letter, and who's signing it is the authorized person that signed the agreement. They're the people that are asking for this. So if it's a budget change, they're going to be sending the letter stating that. The letter can be addressed to your GTR, can be addressed to the grant officer. Either or is fine, but it has to be a signed amendment. The only one that doesn't require the signature would be that contact information that we walked through before. So if you're from a city and you have a mayor, there's been elections and the mayor has changed, we don't expect that former mayor to be signing their letter, right? So, but in that case, it would be the point of contact that would be letting us know that change. Go ahead.
Yeah, you made a good point, because a lot of times during negotiation, how many of you all mayors signs as the AO? Okay, that's good. It's not that many, because normally they have to go through some kind of meeting, or it takes time for that to go through, but normally we try to catch that in negotiation time, during that time, to give us an inkling of what we're working with. Okay, changing your work plan, benchmarks, whatever it may be, that's pretty easy. It goes through your GTR, and of course, document. Reason why we do all of this documentation is because on my end, as the grant officer, we get audit. And the audit is not nice. It's really not nice. They look at so much documentation, it's crazy. So it seems like a lot from your end, but you have to understand on my end, dealing with being the grant officer, I have to sign off on the 1044. We're talking about millions of dollars. So when the auditor comes to me, and they do come to me, I have to go through your file, and I have to have documents of everything. So that's why it's so important when you go to your GTR and talk to your GTR and emails, anything, we make that as a documentation, okay? Okay.
Let me touch on the budget real quick. Two of the main reasons why you guys would have budget changes, one is that if you had personnel or staff that you were contemplating bringing on board, and then you guys end up going out to a contractor and you have to contract those services out. The other one is if you have a sub and you plan on bringing a sub on, and then the sub for whatever reason doesn't have the capacity or the ability to perform, and then you guys end up contracting it out, or you guys bring it in-house. Those are generally the two big reasons for 424 changes. It's particularly with the FY10 ones, that's what we've seen most of the budget modifications occur from.
Okay. The next one. Okay, basically it's saying the same thing. Documentation. The AR has to sign everything. But also, what's not up here is, and Zuleika did touch on this, we have to do pre-high risk, we do high risk, we do termination of convenience, and we do termination. Termination of convenience, for instance, could be your grant, you couldn't fulfill your grant because of some kind of disaster. I have done a couple of those, especially in Miami, hurricane, flood, storm, or something where you could not do that. And there's other reasons too, but that's like the main one. GTR would come to me, Grantee goes to the GTR goes to the grant officer, but the grant officer, we cannot do that without management's approval. We cannot do high risk or anything. We have to come together. And normally, we don't want to do this. It has to be something really severe. We want to work together with you all. And like I said, we don't want the money to go back to Treasury. We want to help you to do this grant, to be successful in this grant. And a lot of times we come together, and it can be resolved. It definitely can be resolved. A suspension would be first. But a lot of times, unless it's something illegal, we normally work stuff out. And that's our main goal, to make this grant successful. So, and then of course there's closeout, that's a whole nother story. And then audit. So we have a lot to do as grant officers that's not in your books. We might go over this later on, I believe, with the roles and responsibilities. We could touch base on that, dealing with closeouts, but I think that's further down the line for you all. And that will be coming up. This is 2 years for them? Is it first year? 3? Okay. Okay, well, that will be coming up soon, closeouts. So are there any questions? Any questions?
We're just about to wrap up this recap of everything that we went through the webinar, so this is the best opportunity to ask those questions. Unless you guys want to get out. CDC, it's 60 degrees, but I would we do have Subway, and we have other food here, so I invite you to join the HUD cafeteria. And I'll be around until 12:30 or so. If you have any questions, you can feel free to approach me. It has been wonderful working with OSHC, wonderful working with all of you and trying to get those awards out quick.
Don't leave yet.
No? We can't, they can't leave?
No, so first of all, I know the closing segment there about all the different ways you could lose your grant is always a little daunting, but I'll say 87 grants in year one. No one's been lost yet. So it's important you know the conditions under which that can happen. Also, before we do our second round of shout outs and get some other introductions, to say that we wouldn't be here without the support of Zuleika would be a massive understatement. Although you won't get to work with her directly this year, her fingers will be all over everything that you guys are doing as a program. So I want you to join me in thanking her for her service to getting this program off the ground. And we've been told by her new supervisor we have about 30 days left to ask her questions before we start getting in trouble. Now, back to our prop. Regions 3, 4, and 5. That's a big chunk of the country. That's all the mid-Atlantic states, the Southeast, and the Midwest. So if you're in those regions, please stand. And we'll start over here if we can introduce ourselves. And we're pretty sure you didn't.